When did a stupid mall game stop being funny? Me and my friends used to do this dumb challenge at the mall where we'd sneak up behind mannequins in department stores and take the dumbest photos we could think of. It started when Kyle tried to T-pose behind one in a sports store and tripped into a rack of tennis shoes. After that, we turned it into a whole thing. We kept score in the group chat. 1 point for getting a photo without being caught, 2 if you made physical contact, and 3 if the mannequin was in a ridiculous pose already. We had entire albums of this stuff. Lexi did a piggyback pose on one wearing a tuxedo. I dapped up a headless one in a hoodie. Kyle kissed one on the cheek. Someone else got behind one with their arms out and mimed being arrested. We got good at timing too, waiting until the employees were distracted or the floor was empty. We even named them. Greg was the mannequin in the sunglasses store. Denise was the one in the fake winter coat that stood near the food court window. It was stupid, but made the boring mall feel like a playground again. One Saturday afternoon, we were walking through a quiet section of the upper floor and spotted a group of 3 mannequins in the corner of an upscale clothing store. They were arranged like they were walking in formation. One had a long coat and boots, another had a scarf and a hand stretched out like it was mid-conversation. Perfect setup. Kyle dared me to run up behind them and get a selfie like I was crashing their fashion show. I sprinted over, struck a dramatic pose behind the one with the scarf, and took the photo as fast as I could before dipping back toward the entrance laughing. I didn't even look at the picture until we were back by the pretzel stand. I opened the photo, and at first it looked just like every other dumb picture we'd taken. But then I looked at the photo again. Something about it felt off. I zoomed in, and that's when I saw it. Their skin had tiny imperfections, like faint cracks in the surface, and their eyes looked real. Not painted, not glassy. Actual eyes, looking straight into the camera. I showed Kyle. He squinted, then muttered, "Wait." Lexi leaned over, zoomed in on one of the heads, and let out this nervous laugh that died in her throat. The joints had gaps like mannequin parts, but the way the arms hung, the slight bend in the fingers, looked too natural, too human. We tried to brush it off, told ourselves maybe the store used hyper-realistic models or something, but it didn't sit right. So we ran back, but when we got there, they were gone. The mannequins, the outfits, even the racks around them, completely cleared out. Just a big empty section of tile, untouched and clean, like nothing had ever been there. We asked an employee what happened to the display near the entrance, and she just blinked at us, said they hadn't had mannequins there in months. I showed her the photo. She went quiet and said, "That's not our store," but you could see the same tile, the same lights, even the fake plant near the entrance. That night, Kyle texted the group, "Tell me I'm not crazy." He sent a picture from his backyard. Behind the fence, just beyond the light, were 3 shapes, too still. One had a scarf, one had its arm out like it had just finished dabbing. Another stood turned slightly, like it had been caught mid-pose. Lexi sent a voice message. Her phone's facial recognition stopped working. When she checked the settings, there was a second face saved to her profile. She didn't set it. The name just said, "Display Unit." I tried to delete the photo again, but every time I opened my camera roll, it was back, zoomed in closer than before. That night, I woke up to a tapping sound, not knocking, just slow, rhythmic tapping, like plastic fingers on glass. It was coming from the hallway mirror. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. Nothing was there, but when I looked in the reflection, I saw one of them, standing behind me, unmoving. I spun around and the hallway was empty, but the mirror had a single fingerprint on it, too small to be mine. The next night, my window was open. I never opened it. I live on the 2nd floor, but on the windowsill, sitting upright, was one of those plastic mannequin hands, fingers curled, scratched. I tossed it out and slammed the window shut. But now, every time I walk past a store window, the mannequins seem to shift slightly when I'm not looking. Sometimes their heads are turned just a little too far. Sometimes there's one more than there was a second ago. And last night, while I was brushing my teeth, I felt a tap on my back, just one. When I turned around, the hallway behind me was empty, but my bathroom mirror had fogged up just enough to show 4 words written slowly from the inside. "We saw you pose."